Week 11 or part 11, wherever you're at. And today I'm sharing with you is the little things that make all the difference. And I'm going to talk to you about pregnenolone, pantothenic acid, DHEA, and a few other bits and bobs. So let's not mess around here. Let's go straight into it. As you can see on this diagram, we have pantothenic acid is vitamin B5, which drives the process. B5 is the stress vitamin, and pregnenolone affects the adrenal gland, and it affects the production of estrogen, aldosterone, cortisol, DHEA, testosterone, androstenedione, and progesterone. And so we're going to go into more about what's going on. After chatting with you over the last few weeks, I thought it would be helpful to talk a little bit more about more hormonal details, specifically DHEA and pregnenolone. Now, they're all very, very important on the whole polyphony of hormonal actions that go on in our body. And as you will see in this next diagram, it's very complicated. Just as well, you have these diagrams in your PDFs, so you can have a big look at it if you really want to dive into it. The conversions of hormones into others and how important they are to our health and well-being. And as you can see, there's an awful lot going on, and why cholesterol is so important to our health and well-being. And yes, I know you've been told cholesterol is bad for you and all that, especially LDLs. But let's just put that all to one side. You can have a listen and have a look and see what you think at the end of this. Because if we look at cholesterol, what it does, it converts to pregnenolone. Well, we actually need pregnenolone to create, then we go down to progesterone, but also then it goes in to make DHEA, and DHEA goes in to make adrenal hormones, estradiol and estradiol, and then also it's intermingled with progesterone and then cortisols and also estrone, testosterone, estradiol, and then we've got all of these sulfurides and deoxycorticosterone and all of those sorts of things. And so you can see that all of these are really, really important. And so let's just dive in then. DHEA. I can't pronounce it. So DHEA is produced in the rona reticularis of the adrenal cortex under control of adrenocorticotropic hormone, HCTH, and by the gonads under the control of gonadotropin-releasing hormone, GnRH. It is also produced in the brain. DHEA is synthesized from cholesterol via the enzymes. Cholesterol side chain cleavage enzyme, CYP11A1, I'm sure you're going to remember all of these, P450SCC, and 17A hydroxylase 1720 lyase, CYP17A1, with pregnenolone, and 17G hydroxypregnenolone as it intimates, as it's mostly derived from the adrenal cortex. I'm sure you're going to take all of that in. But with only about 10% of it being secreted from the gonads, approximately 50 to 70% of circulating DHEA originates from the desulfation of DHEAS in peripheral tissues. DHEAS itself originates almost exclusively from the adrenal cortex, with 95 to 100% being secreted from the adrenal cortex in women. This is why we're so different. So why do we need DHEA? So the benefits of DHEA: increased muscle strength and lean body mass, increased immune function, improved quality of sleep, increased feeling of wellness, decrease joint soreness, increase sensitivity to insulin, and you know how important that is, lower triglycerides, and stop the damaging effect of stress. Now you might think to yourself, why don't I just pop along to my local health food shop and get some DHEA? But wait, supplement or not to supplement? DHEA is a steroid, and so there can be side effects. So what are we doing at the Ultimate Detox is we're working on the adrenals so that they can produce the DHEA themselves. Regular exercise is known to increase DHEA production in the body, as does calorie restriction, has also been shown to increase DHEA. Some theorize that the increase in endogenous DHEA brought about by calorie restriction is partly responsible for the longer life expectancy known to be associated with calorie restriction, which is why, of course, intermittent fasting is so beneficial, but I'm going to go into that in a minute. The combination of acetylcarnitine and propylcarnitine in a 1-to-1 ratio can boost the production and release the hormone DHEA in our bodies. Acetylcarnitine and propylcarnitine are compounds that we can find in some foods. Acetylcarnitine is found in foods like red meat and dairy products, while propylcarnitine is also found in various amounts in certain meats and certain dairy items. This boost in DHEA happens because these compounds stimulate the release of specific chemicals within our body, similar to the way steroids do. In other words, this is why people use steroids. So this is another reason why we do intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting, as I've spoken to you before, and I'm going to speak to you again, is intermittent fasting is hugely beneficial for our health for so many reasons. And DHEA is another reason why we intermittent fast. So next, regular exercise. Now, this will only happen if your adrenals are well fortified and you're not in stress mode. It could be another vicious cycle. So, for example, if you are not exercising already and you're still feeling the effects of fatigue or still carrying more weight around, wait. Do not do too much. Yes, definitely go for a walk, but don't do hard out exercise, because otherwise that can throw you back into stress mode. And then, so if we look at when we're stressed, when we're first stressed, as in when we're not in chronic stress, but we're in acute stress, DHEA comes to the rescue. But when our stress is ongoing, as in chronic stress, our adrenals just cannot cope with the job. So it retreats, stops producing as much DHEA, and the aging process increases. So there is a supplement with pantethine or pantothenic acid. So vitamin B5, also known as pantothenic acid, plays a crucial role in supporting our adrenal health. Let me explain why in very simple terms. Adrenal glands. Our adrenal glands are responsible for producing hormones like cortisol, which helps us deal with stress and maintain our body's balance. Energy production. Vitamin B5 is essential for the process of turning the food we eat into energy. Without it, our cells wouldn't be able to generate the energy needed for various bodily functions, since those managed by the adrenal glands. Stress response. When we encounter stress, our adrenal glands release cortisols to help us cope. Vitamin B5 is necessary for the production of cortisol. Without B5, our bodies might struggle to respond effectively to stress. So vitamin B5 is a precursor of pregnenolone, which then goes on to create our adrenal hormones, along with zinc and other minerals. So where are the best sources of vitamin B5 in our diet? No surprises, animal products. Foods like beef, chicken, eggs, and dairy produce are very good sources of vitamin B5, and also, unlike many of the other plant-based ones, they are much easier to digest and utilize. As you can see in the diagram here, the pregnenolone and adrenal glands. So basically B5 gets converted into pregnenolone and then feeds the adrenals. We can't talk about DHEA and leave out another hormone, human growth hormone, HGF1. Over the years, I've seen people take this as an anti-aging supplement, and it does appear to work, but only for a very short period of time. However, what if we could naturally enhance our levels of HGH? Let's explore. How do we naturally increase HDA and DHEA? Sleep. Sleep. By acquiring quality sleep for up to 8 hours a night will help increase your HGH production, human growth hormone. Sleep is essential for lots of your other hormone production, immune functioning, muscle growth, memory, and more. Stop eating before bed. Avoid consuming heavy meals 2 to 3 hours before bed, which of course you're doing, aren't you? Consuming large meals before bedtime results in impaired insulin response, which results in impairments in the production of your human growth hormones. Lose weight, which of course is what you're doing. It is recommended in maintaining a healthy weight to optimize your natural HGH levels. By choosing this program and, of course, limiting your sugar intake, you will decrease the risk of insulin resistance. Protein. Make your last meal or food a high-protein one. This will help boost your HGH production and alleviate many carbohydrates, which can decrease HGA production. So no more nibbles before bed. More ideas that can help with human growth hormone and HGA, HDL. DHEA. Play in the sun. Being in the sun for only 15 minutes every day will deliver your body its adequate vitamin D levels, which help aid the production of human growth hormone. However, if you prefer not to sunbathe or it's winter, then I recommend fermented cod liver oil. The link is in the Facebook group. Now, being in the sun, that's part of the equation. But when you do go out in the sun, when you have a shower, do not use soap on those exposed areas, because that interferes with the absorption and utilization of vitamin D. Water doesn't, but soaps do. Avoid sugar post-workout. So if you do go for doing your exercise, sugar, especially fructose, within 2 hours post-workout will cause your hypothalamus to release somatostatin, which decreases human growth hormone levels. Sugars that are high glycemic will also spike your insulin and lead to additional body fat storage while decreasing your natural human growth hormone production. Fast. Yes, here we go again. Intermittent fasting optimizes your blood sugar digestion and helps release higher amounts of the human growth hormone. Fast for 12 to 18 hours per day, as often as you can, even a week, to experience the associated health benefits. Plus, extend your fasting window. If you're not hungry, can enable you to create more of these anti-aging hormones. Even if you change your fasting window from 9 hours to 8, 7, 6 hours, you're going to get huge health benefits long term. Cleanse your liver. We've already talked about our liver in an earlier video. Go back and have a look if I were you. A healthy liver is essential to experience the full benefits of your human growth hormone levels. Human growth hormone is metabolized by AGF1 in the liver. You can cleanse your liver by limiting the amount of processed foods and alcohol consumed, and of course, using our liver flush or taking milk thistle. And of course, you've been doing this already, haven't you? If you haven't, go and have a look. Interval workouts. By raising your heart rate above your anaerobic threshold and engaging your fast twitch muscles for 30 seconds, you will increase your natural production of human growth hormone. So basically, it's short, sharp bursts. And if you do that just for 30 seconds, 4 or 5 times in a workout, as long as your weight is stable and you're not under huge amounts of stress. If you still have weight to lose, wait until you get to your goal weight, or you're feeling really good and you really want to run and you feel energized and you really feel great, then do it. If you don't. Really, exercise is for the healthy, and I know it sounds a bit bizarre, but it really is. Exercise is for the healthy. Pregnenolone. We've covered this a little earlier, but I just wanted to remind you about a very little known hormone. It can make a big difference to your life. As you can see in the diagram, it's a vital component of our hormonal health. Cholesterol converts to pregnenolone, which converts to DHEA. It also converts to testosterone, progesterone, aldosterone, and cortisol. DHEA takes it to an adrenal, and testosterone and DHT. And I just want to really reiterate how important these hormonal actions really are. Vitamins and minerals needed to create pregnenolone. Vitamin B5, we've already talked about. Zinc, we've already talked about. And magnesium, which we've already talked about, are essential components for achieving optimum levels of pregnenolone, a crucial precursor to the production of various hormones in the body. Vitamin B5, also known as pantothenic acid, plays a vital role in this synthesis of cholesterol, which is a precursor to pregnenolone. Zinc is a cofactor in the enzymic conversion of cholesterol into pregnenolone, while magnesium is involved in activating the enzymes required for this conversion. Together, these nutrients support the enzymic processes that facilitate the transformation of cholesterol into pregnenolone, which serves as a precursor for the production of hormones like cortisol, progesterone, DHEA, and human growth hormone, all of them essential for good health and well-being. In your Ultimate Detox Spray, you have a homeopathic version of this amazing hormone. This is to trigger the body's ability to create and utilize it more. So pregnenolone is synthesized, as I said, from cholesterol, and in turn, conversion and utilization within our bodies controlled by the pituitary. The hormones produced for this are vital for this to take place. They are adrenocorticotropic hormone, follicular stimulating hormone, and luteinizing hormone, and they in turn are created in the adrenal glands and premenopausal women in the ovaries. Pregnenolone is a vital component in the creation of all our sex hormones, and so it is vital for those of us who are looking for optimum health, that we have these working for us, not against us. Okay, so here are some of the benefits of having our hormonal balance, especially with DHEA, pregnenolone, and human growth hormone. Here are some of the benefits. Great for cognitive enhancement, relaxing and stimulating at the same time. And what that basically means is you can be very relaxed, but also get really excited about life again. Increases motivation, increases wakefulness, increases hormones, good for libido and good for longevity. The brain and pregnenolone. Pregnenolone and pregnenolone sulfate act as signaling molecules to the brain, where they stimulate neuronal activity. Pregnenolone increases the growth of neurons. Pregnenolone enhances myelination, enhances the formation of new synapses, and has neuroprotective properties. So basically what that means is that you can take on new ideas. You can be flexible in your thought patterns. You don't get stuck in a rut. And basically it prevents many mental impairments. So pregnenolone also improves neurological recovery, and pregnenolone and pregnenolone sulfate protect neurons against cell toxicity and toxin-induced cell death. Low blood levels of pregnenolone are found in the elderly, including those with dementia and Alzheimer's. So, pregnenolone in brief. Pregnenolone boosts mood and relieves depression. Pregnenolone relieves schizophrenia symptoms. Pregnenolone stimulates deep sleep. Pregnenolone improves learning and memory. Pregnenolone is a neurotropic and boosts cognitive function. Pregnenolone is anti-anxiety. Pregnenolone balances the immune system. Pregnenolone increases libido. Pregnenolone reduces alcohol preference and intake. Pregnenolone kills brain cancer cells. Pregnenolone protects from cannabis intoxication. Now, the negative effects is if you take it as a supplement, it is a steroid, and so it should be taken with care. Pregnenolone can impair your memory, can reduce wakefulness, and can cause anxiety. So the complete antithesis of what the natural occurring pregnenolone in the body is. So we are much better to fortify the body with the building blocks so we can create our own. So if, for example, we have enough B5 in having beef, chicken, eggs, and maybe dairy, and if we have enough zinc with our seafood and maybe liquid zinc, and you're doing the magnesium on your skin, you're much more likely to make your own pregnenolone. So I'm just going to go into a bit more again. This is really important, I think, for us to really understand what this is a hormone that not many people know about. And it's a natural hormone that cannot be patented. Back in the 1940s, when researchers started experimenting with it, they realized that it could be helpful for people under stress and it could increase energy with those who are fatigued. However, about the same time, cortisol, another closely related hormone, was discovered. Cortisol stole the limelight. When cortisol was given to individuals with rheumatoid arthritis, there were outstanding short-term improvements. Photograph of these remarkable recoveries was circulated and the medical community was impressed. Scientists basically put pregnenolone aside to focus on cortisols. The structure of cortisol was altered to make similar molecules such as dexamethasone and prednisone much more powerful steroids. Dexamethasone and other similar corticosteroids could be patented, and thus a pharmaceutical company could make a lot of money. Pregnenolone has stayed in relative obscurity since the 1940s, with only rare mentions in the medical literature. There have been few studies published on pregnenolone in recent years, and only a couple involve human subjects. How the body utilizes pregnenolone. Step 1. Eating food containing cholesterol such as meat, eggs, poultry, butter, and or dairy causes the cholesterol to be absorbed during digestion. The liver can also be an origin of pregnenolone because it produces cholesterol on its own. Step 2. Floating in small bunches inside the cell, cholesterol waits until the body has a need for the production of pregnenolone. When signaled, cholesterol is sent into the mitochondria, the chemical factories where carbohydrates, fat, and proteins are turned into energy. Upon arriving on the mitochondria, cholesterol is converted into pregnenolone by the removal of a few side chains of the chemical. The pregnenolone then leaves the mitochondria, which signals a ready state to produce more. In theory, taking supplemental pregnenolone does not suppress indigenous production of the hormone because it's a self-signaling process. Step 4. Converted by different enzymes in the cytoplasm of the adrenal glands, liver, skin, or genitals, pregnenolone becomes either DHEA or progesterone. From there, these hormones can be further converted into cortisol, aldosterone, estrogen, testosterone, and or other essential hormones. Food that will help. Yes, good quality fats. And that's it, really. Vital for health and well-being. So never, ever be afraid of fats. They are vital for our hormonal health. And so if they're vital for our hormonal health, they are vital for all our well-being. So could this little known hormone, pregnenolone, be the reason why the carnivore diet works so well for many of us? Makes you think, doesn't it? I perceive that many people will regret going on a low-fat diet. I know I did when I was in my 20s, when it was very fashionable. And, oh, if only I'd know then what I know now. But then again, I wouldn't be here talking to you if I did. So I hope this makes sense. I hope you can grasp why I've decided to do quite a long video about what is quite a small component, but they make such a big difference to our health and well-being. If you can get a grasp of DHEA, human growth hormone, and pregnenolone, and the components that make them up, then we could live very healthy, happy, and content for a very, very long time. Is it anti-aging? Only time will tell. Tell me in a few years. Thank you very much for watching. I really, really appreciate you joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.